Bookies and gamblers rejoice! Sports gambling is now legal. On this week's episode of Brooklyn Verse, we're debating how is sports gambling going to affect everything.
Go Bridgeside!
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Brooklyn Verse. Today, we're talking about the landmark decision of the Supreme Court to allow sports gambling. I'm your host, Dr. Philly Kaggs. We got Donnie Boss, and we got the analyst, Chris Venture. Today, we're mixing politics and sports, baby. Supreme Court came out. I got to start with Pick'em and Donnie and Boo. So, Donnie, sports gambling now up to the states. Could be legal all around. What do you think?
Well, it's a huge deal because it's going to go to the states now whenever they may choose. And they're going to choose, yes, at some point eventually because it's revenue. That's why the Supreme Court very uncharacteristically did it 7-2, which usually just goes down political lines. But it's a revenue issue, and that's why they had to go with it. I'm actually shocked it wasn't 9-0. But sometimes these things just happen and people dissent for their own personal reasons.
I agree. That's political, though. That's Bridgeside politics.
I got you, of course, yeah. Two Thursday nights. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge deal. There's 4 states now that have already had it. It's going to spread like wildfire. Yeah. So go ahead, move along.
New Jersey's the one who brought the lawsuit, and they actually said that they want to get gambling up and running by the NBA Finals. Wow. They want to have this going.
Chris Christie.
Well, he's gone. But
it was him
that had the lawsuit. It was him that lawsuit, but they picked up after he left, and they're going to get the ball wrong because you know why? This is what they want to save and AC. They're trying to save AC. They want AC.
I heard the Hard Rock's coming to AC. Yeah. What's going to be better than a nice new sports book to make things going?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Just think about it. When you were in Vegas, you had football. You sat there for college football and the football Sunday. You bet on the games. You'd go out, whatever you eat, you gamble. And now AC's hoping to have that people come in from the Metro City. Boom, do their gambling.
The thing is, these casinos and stuff like AC, honestly, sports betting isn't really a big portion of what's coming in. It's I think it's somewhere between 10 and 15%.
That's big numbers, though.
I mean, yes, obviously, but 10, 15%, you would think it'd be more, but it's really not that huge of a deal. But it is important. It's important for Jersey, I think, a lot. But obviously, New York, I don't know what's going to happen.
New York's on board.
Everyone's probably eventually going to be on board. The problem is, I mean, honestly, I don't want to get political, but basically, what's going to happen with there's going to be a lot of homeless people in every state that does this. I mean, that's going to be an issue. That has nothing to do with sports. I'm just saying that's an issue. Because if you look at Atlantic City, you look at Las Vegas, the outskirts of these places are a disaster.
I agree that.
I think there's somewhere every day.
I agree that homelessness.
I got body lice on a train.
Homelessness is an issue, but I don't know if they're directly correlated with gambling being legal and homelessness on the rise.
According to Chris, it's definite.
Yeah, but do you know?
Look at Atlantic City and look at Las Vegas.
Those
are slums anyway.
They're slums because of the.
We don't know that.
To go back to the revenue. You mentioned. Do you know how much money was bet on the Super Bowl last year? $4 billion. Just for one game.
It's important.
So how the NFL is not? I'm surprised the NFL didn't just come out and say, "Whoo! We are so on board for this," because their ratings have been dropping. This is only going to help, especially the NFL, because I mean, all those games that people don't really care about their hometown teams.
Bet 'em.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so this
people could bet anyway, though.
I know, but now it's a lot easier.
That's what I'm about to get into, my friend.
It's a lot easier, though.
Because the real effect that this has is online.
Yep.
Every sports book right now is offshore. A lot of that money is going to come back home.
Yeah.
We're going to bring the money back home. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great thing. More jobs, more sports betting public
in the US. This is really Bridgeside politics.
Because this particularly is.
I know, it is. But this is really going to, I know that the major sports are talking about hopefully they got to keep the integrity of the game. They got to really hammer that home.
They have to clean their own house to do that.
Because I'll tell you what, on the first day that a coach makes a questionable call, he kicks a field goal and maybe he shouldn't have kicked a field goal, and the game goes over.
Who's betting on this?
But I have to know.
You're going to all of a sudden...
All right, but Phil, and this is my argument to that, and it's a pretty solid one. Why wouldn't that have already happened yesterday?
I agree.
When you can still bet wherever you want, whenever you want.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that the talk of it, the controversy of it might be a little bit higher.
I understand, but that's asinine in my opinion.
Well, now, this isn't really great for the guys who are already bookies and things like that, because it's just going to hurt them, because now there's going to be more rules and
Yep.
regulations than
Of
ever
course,
before.
yeah.
Is that
Everything's
a
gonna be-
bad thing that it's hurting the bookies?
No, I don't
These
think
guys
so.
are doing illegal things.
No, it's just gonna hurt.
Eh,
But what
I
I'm
mean,
saying, it should help.
yes
like,
and no.
It should help, like, you know, economy overall and everything. Like, obviously, the weed thing was another thing that should have been out a long time ago.
Yeah.
It should have been legal.
Which
Like,
will
it's
follow
odd.
suit eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
All these things are gonna get taxed. All these things the government's gonna have the hands in.
like
They're trying to
alcohol.
make money. Everybody's just trying to make money.
It's revenue, big time.
Right.
Just
You
like
put
you
it-
There's
started
gonna be a
with.
lot of greed
You
involved.
put an age on it, and you make it legal, and it's up to the states, and that's what it is.
My question is it like how is this going to affect fantasy sports? Because fantasy sports try to separate itself from gambling because it was illegal,
I think,
and
now,
they said it was contests.
I think now it's just going to go like this.
Yeah.
It
Personally.
should,
In fact,
but it
Personally.
could hurt fantasy because there's a lot of people who rather just bet the games than play fantasy.
Honestly, I don't
No,
think anything's
I think,
hurting fantasy
by the
right
way,
now.
I think that's absolutely not true. I don't think it's by preference. I actually think that's completely generational. Our generation and lower will absolutely still veer more towards fantasy, and older than us
Completely agree.
will still keep going along the betting.
Right.
And some people pick and choose will get involved with the betting as they get older, but it's still an age thing. That's not a preference thing. People, well, it's actually both. I'm sorry. The younger kids prefer fantasy, is what I mean.
I agree.
because
that's-
you know they're not
Because-
going to gamble either.
Because also they, you know,
it's still more fun
Yeah.
to follow that game and get these players in all different games rather than just do the like betting on the Mets one night.
because they're gambling in DraftKings. They just found a loophole to make it
Right,
seem like
exactly.
they aren't. And now I think they come together. But I think that's what we think is going to happen with sports gambling, and
Sure.
it's probably going to be a plus for sports. We agree, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to know what everyone else thinks. What do you guys think about this? Is a landmark decision. Sports gambling is going to be legal everywhere, probably,
It's huge.
but it's going to be up to the states. But let us know. Hit us on the comments, and that's another edition of Brooklyn Verse.
We out.
Go Bridgeside.
Good.
That was good.
Excellent.
Good. Donnie and Boo.
The gambling.
Legal everywhere.